The expedition, led by Magellan, was expected to sail as far as the Spice Islands to the west by sailing around the American continent. It was financed by Spain, which hoped to gain access to these islands and their spices without crossing the Indian Ocean, then dominated by the Portuguese. Magellan knew that there was an ocean between the New World and Asia, and he had information on the South American coast as far as the Rio de la Plata. The presence of this deep bay at roughly the same latitude as the southernmost point in Africa made Magellan hope that there was a passage across the new continent. His fleet of 5 ships left Spain on the 20th of September 1519. In December, it made its first port of call in the bay of what is now Rio de Janeiro. By mid-January, the ships had reached the Rio de la Plata. Magellan soon realized that this bay did not offer a passage across the continent. Continuing south, the fleet had to sail through increasingly difficult weather conditions. At the end of March, Magellan decided to wait until the end of the southern winter in a sheltered bay known as the San Julian Bay. During these 5 winter months, the explorer had to put down a mutiny with force, and one of his ships, the Santiago, which had been sent to explore a neighboring bay, capsized. The fleet set off again in August. By the end of October, it had reached a large bay in which the strong currents made Magellan think that he had found the long sought-after passage. It took him another month to navigate through the maze of canals, and during this time the crew of the San Antonio mutinied and decided to return to Spain. The 3 remaining ships finally found their way into the new sea on the 27th of November. The crossing of the Pacific Ocean was particularly long and arduous. After 3.5 months, the crew was weak with hunger and scurvy, but they finally reached the Mariana Islands, where they were able to take on stores before continuing on their journey west. The expedition made land in the Philippines on the 17th of March 1521, but Magellan was killed a few weeks later during a fight with the local population. Since they had lost a lot of men, it was decided to burn one of the 3 ships. The last 2 ships, the Trinidad and the Victoria, reached their target, the Spice Islands, on the 28th of November. Laden with spices, the 2 ships set off on their return journey, taking 2 opposite directions. The Trinidad did not succeed in making the journey back to Europe via the Pacific Ocean, while the Victoria decided to sail to Spain via the Indian Ocean. It rounded the Cape of Good Hope on the 18th of May and sailed north through the Atlantic, making a port call in the islands of Cape Verde. The Victoria reached Spain on the 6th of September 1522, almost exactly 3 years after its departure. This expedition, which succeeded the crossing of an immense and totally unknown ocean, is one of the greatest adventures in the history of navigation, and proved that it was possible to sail around the world.